Debutantes, today on this episode of Kelly Cooks, we are going to be making this spinach and feta stuffed chicken breast. So let's go ahead and get started and I'll show you what you need and how to prepare it. Alright guys, so let me show you what you're going to need for this recipe. Of course, you're going to need some chicken. These are chicken breasts that I get at Costco. It ends up being like $2.30 a pound. It comes in 6 pouches. And it's just really great, and they're nice big fat chicken breasts. So some chicken breasts, you need some spinach. This is about 3/4 of a bag of spinach, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, some minced garlic. You could use garlic cloves, but I have this on hand, so I'm going to use that, and some feta cheese. So let me go ahead and show you the first step to get the chicken ready to be stuffed. All right, let's get started. So for this first step, you're going to need a very sharp knife. This is a Santoku chef's knife. It's one of my favorite knives. I use it all the time. I have these Playtex disposable clean cuisine gloves on. You've heard me talk about these before if you've watched any of my cooking videos. Do not like to touch raw chicken. So these I buy at the grocery store and they're perfect. So the first thing you're going to need to do is grab your chicken breast. So here you have it. I'm going to try and find the fattier side. Right here, you're just going to lay that out. Now, it's actually very easy, but you just have to be careful. You're going to put your hand down on the chicken breast like this. You're basically going to butterfly this chicken breast. You're going to take your very sharp knife, and you're going to slide it into the side of the chicken, and you're just going to cut it, trying to do even on both sides. You're not cutting it all the way through. And basically, that's it. So now you have a place to go ahead and stuff your chicken when we finish that part. So I'm going to do these other 2 chicken breasts, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on this, and I'm just going to set these aside, and we're going to move on to cooking up our stuffing. Okay, so now we're ready to make the filling, and I have a large skillet, whatever you call this. It's really large and it has a lid, and all I'm going to do is put a little bit of olive oil. I almost said baby oil. Olive oil in the pan, not too much. The heat is set to medium, like medium high, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of this minced garlic. This doesn't have a really strong taste to it, so you can use a little bit more. It has a real strong scent. So I'm just going to let that heat up a little bit. Stir this around, coat the pan with the oil. And what we're going to be doing is kind of sauteing the spinach, making it wilt, and it takes a whole lot of raw spinach to make just a little tiny bit of sauteed spinach. So this step is actually really easy. It's just a matter of you got to heat up the oil, and then you're just going to dump this spinach in there, just like that. And now I'm just going to let this sit for a bit and let the heat up that spinach, and then I'll take the lid off and stir it up. So once it starts to wilt, I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. Okay, so this has been sitting just for a little bit. You can see it's starting to wilt a little bit on the bottom. This really doesn't take that long. Just want to make sure you get that spinach mixed up with that garlic and the oil. This probably takes about 5 minutes or less. So I'm just going to let that finish up. Okay, so it's been just cooking up for another minute or 2. And you can kind of take the lid off and just stir it up. And you can see how little spinach I'm getting from that big bag. But this will be enough for 2 or 3 chicken breasts. Just add more spinach. There's like really no real recipe or rhyme or reason. Just kind of grab and go stuff from your fridge. So I'm going to let this just finish up. Give it a few more minutes. I probably should have cut some of those stalks off, but it'll be fine. So now that our spinach is all wilted, I'm going to turn the heat off. I am going to make some room on my oven to take it from the heat, and I'll show you what I do next. So my spinach is done wilting. I've taken this off the heat, and now I'm going to add some of my crumbled feta cheese to my spinach. Again, this is just a taste. If you like lots of feta cheese, put lots. If you don't put that much. I like a lot of cheese. My husband doesn't like a lot of cheese, so we kind of did medium. And I just bought this handcrafted feta cheese crumbles. So, excuse me. So now I'm just going to stir this up a little bit. And now this is the stuffing for our chicken breasts. I'm going to show you how I stuff the chicken, and then we're going to cook them back in this pan. Alright, so here's my spinach, here's my chicken. I have a little spoon, and I'm just going to take some of this spinach and put it into our chicken breast, just like right there where your little seam is. Plop that right on down. This is, again, you can put as much or as little spinach in each chicken breast as you want. Then you just fold that like this, and now these are ready to go back into your skillet to cook. Let me just do this one. Get this a little bit more here. You could put a toothpick there if you wanted, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. And then my last chicken breast. Just get as much of this goodness into my chicken breast as possible. There we go. So now I'm just going to wipe this out a little bit so the cheese doesn't stick and melt. I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil in the pan, put it back on the stove, and then I'm going to put these in to cook. Alright, so my olive oil is heated up. It's probably a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more of oil. I just kind of poured it in. I didn't measure. Then I'm just going to take my chicken, set it right down, give it a nice sear. Again, my heat is like on medium high. Medium. I may turn it down a little bit. So now we're just going to let those go ahead and cook, probably 4 to 5 minutes per side. You definitely don't want anything pink. And one of the best things I ever purchased at Goodwill is a splatter guard, so that as the chicken's cooking, it's not splattering grease everywhere. So I'm just going to keep an eye on these, and once they're done cooking in here, they're done and ready to eat. Okay, so they've been cooking for a little bit. See if they are ready to flip. Flip them over. They got a nice brown color. This one does not want to come up. Usually if they don't want to come up, that means they're not ready to flip. So I'm going to let that side stay a little bit longer. I'm just going to keep on cooking, and we'll come back and check them in a minute. So here's what it looks like when it's all cooked. It's nice and brown. Normally I would serve this with like a roasted potato, a baked potato, or some type of starch, but since we're trying to low carb it around here, I just made some quick green beans. So I'm just gonna cut this open. Now I probably should have had a little bit more spinach. I think it was a little skimpy on the spinach, but oh, I didn't cut all the way through. You can see it's full of spinach. It's got some of that nice feta cheese. You could open this up and put a little bit more feta in there if that's what you'd like. So honey and I are gonna sit down and get ready to eat. And I really like this because the spinach has lots of iron in it. So guys, let me know if you like these Kelly Cooks videos by commenting down below. Again, please subscribe if you have not. I really enjoy reading everyone's comments and seeing who has subscribed to my channel. So here is my spinach and feta stuffed chicken breast.